So we were discussing about introduction to VHDL program, and in that we were discussing about various syntaxes of in a VHDL programming. Then we were discussing about different statements that are present in the VHDL programming. So in continuation with that, now again we are going to discuss some part of this VHDL programming. So in the last lecture, we were discussing about concurrent statements. Okay? So what is mean by concurrent statements? Vishakha, what is mean by concurrent statements? Ashwini, Ashwini, are you there? Harshal, Yogesh, Imran,
Hello.
what is mean by concurrent statement? Okay, tell me what is mean by sequential statement?
Sequential statements are execute sequentially, means one by one, and the concurrent statement are execute in parallelly.
Yes, the statements which are executed in a sequential manner, that are sequential statements, and those who are executed in a parallel manner, that means all these statements that are executed at a time only, so that are concurrent statements. So we were discussing about those concurrent statements. So let us continue with that. In earlier session, we have discussed about this concurrent signal assignment statements. Then selected signal assignment statements that we have discussed. So now we are going to discuss about block statements. Okay. So now what is meant by block? Blocks are that which allows the designer to logically group sections of a concurrent model. That means they will make a group. Okay, so particular block that will have a particular section of concurrent model, and these sections that are not scheduled to be used in another model. Uh, so these blocks are used to organize a set of concurrent statements hierarchically. So that means here, if we have certain blocks, so that blocks that can be executed concurrently. So whatever are the concurrent statements that we can put in the blocks, and then that we can execute in a concurrent manner. So for this block statements, the syntax is label, this is the keyword that need to be used, and then colon block, and then whatever is the declarative part for this particular block. Okay, so that will be there. Now this is optional. If there is any declarative part for that block is present, then it will be there, otherwise you can skip this part. And then after that there is a begin, and then concurrent statements that you need to execute. Okay, so all these statements that will be present one after another, and then end of the block. So this label, that means name given to that block, will be present here. Now again, if you want to give this name, then it is okay, otherwise you can skip this part, and then you can just have the this statement like a end block and then semicolon. Okay, so this is the syntax for block. The block declarative part that defines objects that are local to the block, okay, and can have any of the items which are there may be signal declaration in a block declarative part. Then constant declaration, type declaration, subtype declaration, or subprogram body. Then if alias declaration part is there, that also will be there in a block declarative part. And then component declaration, that is also will be there in a block declaration. So that means you can have where here in this block declarative part you can declare all these things. Okay, so you can declare signal, then constant, then type, subtype, subprogram, alias, component, all these can be declared there. And then in a body of that block you can have concurrent statements. So objects declared in a block are visible to that block, and all blocks nested with it. So these declared objects that will be available for that block only. Okay, and if there are certain blocks that are nested in the main block, then for that blocks this will be visible. Okay, otherwise this will not be available outside of that block. Okay, म्हणजे या ब्लॉक साठी जिथे तुम्ही हे सगळं डिक्लेअर करताय तिथंच फक्त हे अवेलेबल असेल, त्याच्या बाहेर कुठेही तुम्हाला ते बघता येणार किंवा त्यात ते यूज नाही करता येणार. पण त्याच ब्लॉकमध्ये जर अजून काही नेस्टेड ब्लॉक्स असतील, म्हणजे अजून काही ब्लॉक्स असतील, तर त्याच्यामध्ये तुम्हाला यूज करता येतं. म्हणजे मेन ब्लॉकला तुम्ही यूज केलेत काही डिक्लेरेशन, तर ते तुम्ही चाइल्ड ब्लॉक साठी यूज करू शकता. Okay, when a child block declares an object with the same name as the name of the parent block, then child declaration overrides the parents. Okay, so that means suppose we have the nested blocks. Okay, so if suppose certain parameter is declared by the parent block as well as with the same name, if child block also declares the same uh, any declaration, it is done by that, then in that case the child's declaration that will override the parent's declaration. That means it will take the whenever we are executing the program, that time whatever is the declared by the child block, that will be considered. Okay, so here we need to remember this thing, that if you are declaring with the same name for the parent block as well as child block, then it will be override by the child's declaration. Then let us have one example of this block statements. So here we have example, that is a block B1, that is the one is nested within the block B1, and both B1 and B1-1 that declare a signal named as, okay, the signal S used in the block B1 dash 1 will be the name 1 declared with block B1 dash 1, with while the S used in block B2 is the one declared in B1. Okay, so let us have this example. So here in the architecture BHV of entity example, we have declared signals, that is out1 and out2. When out1 is the integer while out2 is the bit type. Okay, so both these are the signals. But remember here, this out1 is the integer type while out2 is the bit type. Okay, so now in this architecture we have block B1. Okay, so here there is a declaration of block B1. So this is the label given to that block, that is a B1. And then in that we have declared one signal, that is the S, which is again of the type bit. Okay. Then in this block we have certain concurrent statements. So there is again one block, that is a B1 dash 1. Okay. So this is also a block which has again a declaration signal S, which is of the integer type. Now here you can see that both this block B1 and B1 dash 1 has the signal which is having the same name, that is a S. But if you look at the type of these signals, then signal S which is used in a B1 block is of the bit type, while signal S which is used in a B1 dash 1 is the integer type. Okay. So now, whenever this next statement, so in the B1 block, that are out1, that is assigned with the value S and then end. Okay. So end of this block B1 dash 1. Okay. So here, what will happen? Whenever this next statement that will be executed, that time S will have the value S value of S will be assigned to out1. Okay, so that means here now as this value S is of which is declared in the B1 dash 1 block, that is of the integer type. So this value will be assigned to the out1 signal. Okay, so which is also of the integer type. Then end of this B1 block dash 1 and then end of block B1. Okay, so that means here we have ended these both blocks. Okay, so after that there is another block, that is a block B2 where we assign the value of out2, that is equal to S. Okay, now here whenever we are now assigning the same signal, okay, now the name of the signal that is a S, okay, which is declared in the block B1 as well as B1 dash 1. Now, so one may think that there is a confusion, okay, so that which value has to be considered, okay, so which is declared in the block B1 or which is declared in the block B1 dash 1, okay. So, but here as we are declaring or we are assigning the value of S to out2, which is of the bit type, okay. So, whatever is the value of this signal which is declared in the block B1, that will be assigned to this out2, okay, and then end of this block bit and then end of this आर्किटेक्चर. ओके, म्हणजे इथे काय होणार आहे की जरी तुमचे सिग्नल्स दोन्हीही सेम टाईपचे आहेत पण ज्याप्रमाणे तुमचा टाईप आहे त्याच्याप्रमाणे ती असाइनमेंट होणार आहे. ओके, सो पहिल्या ब्लॉक म्हणजे B1 ब्लॉक मध्ये आता हे सगळे स्टेटमेंट्स आहेत कंकरंटली एक्झिक्यूट होणार आहेत म्हणजे पॅरलली एक्झिक्यूट होणार आहेत. पण इथे जेव्हा एस ची व्हॅल्यू असाइन होणार आहे मग तेव्हा ती B1-1 मधली असाइन होणार आहे out1 साठी आणि या out2 साठी आपल्याला जी B1 मध्ये असाइन केलेली व्हॅल्यू आहे ती असाइन होणार आहे. ओके, सो इन दॅट वे दीज विल गेट एक्झिक्युटेड. नाउ ऑल दीज ब्लॉक्स दॅट आर गोइंग टू बी एक्झिक्युटेड पॅरलली म्हणजे त्या पॅरलली एक्झिक्यूट होणार आहे. त्यामुळे प्रत्येक वेळेला out1 साठी जेव्हा असाइनमेंट होत असणार आहे त्याच वेळेला out2 साठी सुद्धा होणार आहे. फक्त इथं असाइन होताना तुम्हाला इंटिजर व्हॅल्यू जी काही अवेलेबल आहे ती असाइन होणार आहे आणि इथं असं होत असताना जी काही बिट व्हॅल्यू आहे ती होणार आहे. So in that way this will get executed. Then after that there is a procedure calls in a concurrent statement. Okay, so concurrent procedure calls is a procedure call that is executed outside of a process. Okay, it stands alone in an architecture. That means now actually you can call procedure in a process also, but whenever we are considering about concurrent procedure calls, that means that procedures which are going to be executed parallelly. So these will be present in the architecture alone. Okay, so they will not be included in any particular process. They will be present in that architecture alone, and then it will get executed. So whenever we are considering any concurrent procedure call, it will have in, out, and in out parameters. Okay, so all those parameters which are available in the process, so similar type of parameters will be there in this procedure also. Then also it may happen that it will have one return value. Okay, so most of the time it will have one return value. That means it will return or it will give us the result with only one return value. Okay, but it may happen, sir. In most of the times, it may have more than one value also. Okay? So it may have one return value or more than one return value for any particular procedure. Then again, it is considered as a statement also. So we can consider this as a statement. It is equivalent to a process containing signal procedure call. Single procedure call. Okay? So if we have certain procedure, so we can consider that this is a process where there is only one procedure call. Okay, so in that way we can consider this procedure. So here these are the examples of this procedure. So in architecture we have procedure with the return values, that is a comma b. Okay, so that means there are two return values for this particular procedure. Okay, and then end of this procedure or end of this architecture. So that will be there. Okay, then another example is there where in a process we can declare a procedure. Okay, so where there is a single procedure, then we can declare in the process. So here this is the architecture in which we have declared a process, and again in that process we have declared the procedure where there are two return values a and b. Okay, so now we need to wait till we get the result for these two values, and then after that we are going to end the process. So this is the how we can have procedure concurrent procedure calls in a VHDL programming. Then there are concurrent assertion statements in the VHDL. So that means as we have seen about the sequential assertion statements. Okay, sequential assertion statement, that means there are certain statements which gives us message whenever these statements are executed. Okay, so similar type of action performs are performed by the concurrent assertion statements, and they are used for the same reason as that of a sequential assertion statements. म्हणजे जिथे जिथे आपल्याला मेसेजची गरज आहे, म्हणजे एरर मेसेज आहे किंवा जस्ट आपल्याला वॉर्निंग द्यायची आहे, तर त्याप्रमाणे जिथे आपण सिक्वेन्शियल असर्शन स्टेटमेंट जसं यूज करतो तसंच आपण कंकरंट असर्शन स्टेटमेंट सुद्धा यूज करू शकतो. सो that are the concurrent assertion statements. So these statements is used for simulation purpose only and will be ignored by the synthesis. Okay, so this bold statement that is there in the sequential assertion statements also. Okay, म्हणजे हे जे काही असर्शन स्टेटमेंट्स आहेत ती फक्त आणि फक्त कुठे आपण यूज करतो की सिम्युलेशन पर्पज साठी आपण यूज करतो. ओके, जेव्हा सिंथेसिस करायची गरज असते, जेव्हा म्हणजे आपल्याला नेटलिस्ट जनरेट करायची असते, तेव्हा आपण हे स्टेटमेंट्स इग्नोर करतो. म्हणजे तुमचा सिंथेसायझर जो आहे तो ही स्टेटमेंट्स इग्नोर करतो आणि फक्त रिमेंबर करायचं आहे की हे सिम्युलेशन साठी वापरतो. म्हणजे आपण जेव्हा बघणार आहे की आपला सिंटॅक्स बरोबर आहे की नाही, त्यावेळेला वॉर्निंग मेसेज जनरेट करण्यासाठी किंवा एरर मेसेज जनरेट करण्यासाठी आपण assertion statement use करतो. Okay, so we have the concurrent assertion statements in a VHDL program which are used as the same reason that of sequential assertion statement. आणि ते त्यांच्याप्रमाणेच म्हणजे त्यांच्यासारखंच ऍक्शन करतात. ओके, so these are the concurrent assertion statements. Okay. Then after that we have sub programs in a VHDL program. आतापर्यंत आपण काय काय बघितलं की सिक्वेन्शियल स्टेटमेंट्स बघितले, त्याच्यानंतर कंकरंट स्टेटमेंट्स बघितले, आणि त्याच्यानंतर आता नेक्स्ट पार्ट आहे की VHDL मध्ये काय असतं तर सब प्रोग्राम्स असतात. Now what is sub program? Sub programs consist of procedures and functions that can be invoked repeatedly from different locations in a VHDL description. Can anybody tell me what is meaning of this? So subprograms, that means these are the programs which has procedures as well as functions, and that can be called in a VHDL program, in any particular VHDL program from different locations. म्हणजे माझा प्रोग्राम कुठल्या तरी दुसऱ्या एखाद्या प्रोग्राम मध्ये आहे, प्रोजेक्ट मध्ये आहे, तर तिथनं मी माझ्या दुसऱ्या प्रोजेक्ट मध्ये कॉल करू शकते. तर असे जे काही प्रोग्राम्स आहेत त्यांना काय म्हणायचं की सब प्रोग्राम्स म्हणायचं. सो these sub programs are of two types. Okay, one is the procedure and another one that is a function. So we can have the functions that are invoked as the expressions. Then in a functions they are always always return to just one argument. Okay, all parameters of functions that must be of a mode in. Okay, so we have to remember that all the parameters of these functions that are of in a mode in, and all the parameters of functions must be class of signal or constant. Okay, you cannot declare variables in the function, so there will be only signal assignment or the constant parameters that will be present in the function. And then we need to declare the type of the value that it returns. Okay? Again, these functions cannot contain wait statement. हे प्रत्येक फंक्शन मध्ये तुमचं काय काय असणार आहे, तर तुमचे काही एक्सप्रेशन्स असतील. ओके, आणि त्या एक्सप्रेशन नंतर ते फक्त एकाच आर्ग्युमेंटला म्हणजे एकाच व्हॅल्यूला ते रिटर्न होईल. ओके, जे काही पॅरामीटर्स तुमच्या फंक्शन मध्ये असणार आहेत ते सगळे इन मोड मध्ये असणार आहेत. ओके, अँड देन दे विल बी ऑफ द टाइप दॅट इज सिग्नल और कॉन्स्टंट. So there is, remember that there is no any wait statement in a function. So the syntax for this function, that is a function, then identifier interface list. Okay, so this is the interface list, that means the parameters that were present in that function that will be there. Then the keyword that is a return and type mark. Okay, so this type mark that will be there, and then is then declarative part for this subprogram. Okay, so as we are considering this sub function that is a subprogram, so there will be a declarative part that will be present, and then there will be a begin statement. Okay, so begin, and then there will be certain sequential statement, and then end. Okay, so and then after that there is a identifier. That means whatever is the identifier that we have used for this particular function, so that will be there. Okay, again this is optional. So whatever is the identifier, that means it is the name of the function, and interface list, that means it is the formal parameters that are present in the function. So this each of the parameter in this function that must be declared in the way that is a class, then name list, then mode, then type name, and if there is particular expression, that means initial value that we need to specify, so that could be expressed in. So this is the syntax for this declaration. Okay, so parameter declaration part, there will be so that will be there. So here the class of the object that refers to constant or signal. So already we have mentioned that class of the parameters that we are declaring in the function that is only of the type constant or signal. No other class will be there. Okay. So we need to specify that. Then mode of the object that must be in. So here we need to have this mode that is a in, and if no mode is specified, then the parameter is interpreted as mode in. Okay. So you can skip this part also, as again we have already discussed that whatever is present in the square brackets, we that means um, that part is optional. म्हणजे इथे जर आता मी जर काहीच मेन्शन नाही केलं मोड कुठला आहे ते, तर तो बाय डिफॉल्ट मोड इन घेणार आहे. ओके. आणि इथे पण मी क्लास जर मेन्शन नाही केला तर तो बाय डिफॉल्ट त्या पॅरामीटरचा क्लास हा कॉन्स्टंट म्हणून कन्सिडर करेल. जर तो सिग्नल म्हणून कन्सिडर करायचा असेल तर आपल्याला मेन्शन करावं लागेल. अदरवाईज तुम्ही नाही मेन्शन केलं तर तो क्लास कॉन्स्टंट म्हणूनच घेणार आहे. ओके. सो दिस इज द declarative part in the function. So you can see here, this is the example for this function. So function and the identifier used for this function is a c underscore 2 underscore r. Okay. So this is the identifier that is used for this function. Then after that there is a parameter declaration part. So c colon real. Okay. So that means here as class of this c that is not mentioned, that means by default it will take the value that is a constant. Then again mode of this parameter that is also not mentioned, so that means it will be in mode, and then type will be real type. Okay, so that is mentioned here. So return real is, so whatever is the return value, so variable f that is real. Okay, so here this variable that will be again a real. Then begin, so f will be calculated as c into 9 divided by 5 plus 32. Okay, so this, and then return to f. Okay, so this will return to the main function, and then end of c to f. Okay, so this variable time that will be real, and so other declarative part will be there. Okay, so here you can see that whenever we are declaring this, so this is the way to declare this function. Here after this begin, there will be certain statements that will be present, but here you can see that this is returning to only one value, that is the f. Then there is a one more subprogram type, that is a procedures. So these procedures that are again invoked as a statements, and they can have no any return value or argument, or one or more arguments. Okay, so depending on what we are having in that procedure, so it may return to one or more values, or no any values will be there. The parameters of procedures that may be of mode in, then out, and in out. So remember that in a function there is a mode, only in mode is there. Okay, but here we can have all the modes, that is the in mode, then out mode, then in out mode. So all that modes will be there. And again the parameters that are of the class signal, constant, and variable. Again these procedures that can contain वेट स्टेटमेंट ऑल्सो. ओके, जे फंक्शन मध्ये नव्हते, नाही अवेलेबल की वेट स्टेटमेंट इथे आपण असू शकत नाहीये, पण इथे प्रोसिजर्स मध्ये वेट स्टेटमेंट अवेलेबल. ओके, सो द सिंटॅक्स फॉर द प्रोसिजर that is a procedure, then identifier that means name of the procedure, then interface list, and then keyword is. Okay, after that there is a subprogram declarative item that will be there, then begin, and then certain sequential statements will be there, and then after that end of the procedure. So here you can mention the identifier. Okay, so here whenever you are declaring the parameters in the procedure, so again the syntax is similar to that of the earlier syntax which we used for the function, but that is means class, then name list, then mode, then type name, and then expression. Okay, so that means initial value if we want to mention, or if any expression we need to have there. Okay, so here class of this object, that is constant, variable, and signal, and mode is in, out, and in, out. Okay, now if no mode is specified, then it is of in a mode in. If no class is specified, that means it is as a constant. Okay, and parameters of mode out and in out that are interpreted as being of class variable. So that means whenever there is no class specified, that means by default it will be in a mode in type, and again the class will be a constant type. But if we are mentioning the class as a out or in out, then uh, sorry, mode that is out and in out, then class will be variable. So that we need to remember. That means if there is a constant or signal, then mode could be in. ओके, जेव्हा तुम्हाला सिग्नल म्हणून तुम्हाला असाइन करायचं असेल तेव्हा तो इन मोड मध्ये असेल, पण जेव्हा आउट किंवा इन आउट मोड मध्येच असणार आहे तर त्यावेळेला ते व्हेरिएबल म्हणून तुम्हाला त्याचा क्लास मेन्शन करावा लागेल. So these are the examples of this procedures. So you can check this. So here this is for the parity checking. So here that is one example and another example. So that is again for the parity. Okay. So now the next is the packages. Okay. So as you have seen that in a library we are declaring certain packages, but similar to that you can create your own package. Okay. So you create a package to store common subprograms. That means suppose you are going to have a particular project, and then in that project you need to use certain common programs. Okay, so many times, or the data types and constant that you are going to use for number of times, then that can be stored in a particular package. So that means you can create your own package, and that is also possible in a VHDL program. जे ऑलरेडी बाय डिफॉल्ट जे पॅकेजेस अवेलेबल आहेत ते आहेतच, पण तुम्ही काहीतरी प्रोग्राम करताय, तुम्ही काहीतरी लिहिताय, तुमच्याकडे काहीतरी डेटा टाइप्स आहेत, तुम्ही असे डेटा टाइप्स किंवा कॉन्स्टंट असे काही यूज करताय की जे तुम्हाला परत परत तुमच्या डिझाईन मध्ये वापरायला लागणार आहे, आणि ते जे वापरायचे आहेत मग ते तुम्ही तुमच्या एखाद्या पॅकेज मध्ये स्टोअर करू शकता आणि मग ते तुम्ही यूज करू शकता. ओके, सो अ पॅकेज, then your package that consists of two parts. One is the package declaration section and another one that is a package body. So this package declaration that defines the interface for the package. So syntax for that is package, then package name, then keyword is, and then package declarative part, and then end of that package declaration. Okay, so here also you can mention the name, again it is optional for you. So that means you need to give here name for the package, whatever is the subprogram that you need to store in that package. Then in the package body, it is a and dependent unit of the package. Okay, so whatever you are declaring here, okay, so that will be present in that particular package, and it is used to store details of the objects declared in that package. Okay, so that means whatever you are declaring in the package declaration section, so details about that particular things will be present in this package body. So this includes subprograms and algorithms, etc. So whatever you want to declare, that is different subprograms and all that thing, that will be present in this package body. So here you can see the syntax for this package body, that is a package, then your name for that package is, and then here you can declare all the things that you want to store and that you want to use in different programs. So here there will be constants, then functions, then different components, subtypes, all that things will be there. ओके, म्हणजे सपोज मी काहीतरी फुल ॲडर डिझाईन केला, तो मला स्टोअर करून मी तो मला परत परत कुठेतरी यूज करायचा आहे, किंवा मला काही कॉन्स्टंट्स आहेत ते परत यूज करायचे आहेत, मला काही कॉम्पोनंट्स आहेत ते परत यूज करायचे आहेत, तर ते मी सिक्वेन्शियली इथे मेन्शन करू शकते. आणि मी जर हा पॅकेज माझ्या दुसऱ्या प्रोग्राम मध्ये ऍड केला, तर मला या पॅकेज मधले जे कुठले प्रोग्राम्स आहेत ते सगळे मला तिथे यूज करता येतील. ओके, so that means now here you can see in detail the package body, my package, then the function, all that things that will be there. Okay, so detailed description will be there in this package body. So here there will be declaration part, and then after that in the package body detail part will be there, and then end of this package body. Okay, so it is there. Then one more important concept that is in a VHDL programming, that is a subprogram overloading. Okay. So what is mean by subprogram overloading? Now sometimes it is better to have the same name for two or more programs. Okay? So that we don't need to think what name should be given to all the programs, but you can use a same name for the different or two or more subprograms. Only if we are doing in that way, that means if we are using the same name to different subprograms, then we say that that subprogram name is overlaid. आपण परत तेच नेम खूप साऱ्या प्रोग्राम्सना दिलं तर आपल्याला त्याला काय म्हणतो, सब प्रोग्राम ओव्हरलोडिंग. That means here you can see the one example, the count name, that is a function count, in which here it has the oranges which are of the integer type, that means and the return value, that is integer. While here in the another function which has the same name, that is a count, where it has apples, that means the parameter, that is apples, which is of the type bit. Okay, and it is returning to the again integer. Okay, so here you can see the same name is given to both these functions, so we can say that this name is overloaded. Okay? So both these functions are overloaded since the name, they have the same name, that is count, and they have different parameter types. Then when a call to either of function is made, then it is easily possible to identify the exact function to which the call was made. Now how we are going to know this, or we are going to identify this, because we know what is the actual type of the parameters that is present in that function or that we are calling. Okay, so that means if we are calling a particular function, okay, so we are calling in this way that count 20, so that means here now there is a 20 which is nothing but integer. Okay, so that means we are calling this particular function. But if we are calling count 1, that means this is, and again it is in a single quote, that means we are calling a bit type. Okay, and then we can go for this function. Okay, so in that way we can identify whether which program we are calling or which function we are calling. Again we can have operator overloading also. That means we can give the same name to the one or more operators. Okay, so operating overloading is one of the most useful feature in the language. This operator is called overloaded if there is a one or is more than one function specifying it for different data and result type. So here VHDL allows defining operators of the same names as predefined operators, but for different operand types. Okay, so we have the operators with the same names, okay, but operand type that is a different. So that we can do, and then we call it as a operator overload. So both can exist together in one specification, offering greater versatility to the user. So that means we don't need to think more about what name should be given to that particular operator, but just if it is of the different type, then we can use the same name to that operator. Only thing is that it will get overloaded. That means the name that will get overloaded. but that we can do in a VHDL. So all the synthesis rules that provide a package which contains overloaded operators and functions. Now here if we look at the operators like plus, minus, then equal to, not equal to, less than or equal to, greater than or greater than equal to, all these are overloaded by the type std underscore logic underscore vectors. म्हणजे इथे ह्या सगळ्या ऑपरेटर्स मध्ये तुम्ही हे या म्हणजे हे सगळे जे काही ऑपरेटर्स आहेत हे या टाइप मध्ये यूज करू शकतो. ओके, now here example for this is suppose type new type. Okay, so we are considering here a new type is then 0 1 z and x. Okay, so all these are the values that we are assigning to this new type. Then the function nan, and in that we are using parameters, that is a left comma right, which is of the new type. Okay, so that means it will have the values that is 0 1 z and x and return to new type. Okay, again we can have another function that is a or, which is again left or right and new type, and then type return to new type. Then signal a comma b comma c, that is of the new type. Okay, so c can be assigned to a, NAND b or x. So that means it will have all these values. So though we have used the same parameters here for these operators, okay, but still that can be used in the your function. Okay, so here this is about the operator overloading. So in your exam there will be question on write a short note on subprogram overloading or operator overloading. So in that you need to mention this part. Okay, so if anyone has doubt about this, they may ask.
No doubt, ma'am.
So let us stop here for today. Okay, so tomorrow there will be a test on first and second unit. Okay, so as we have completed all this part of introduction of VHDL programming, so there will be test on first and second unit. So that means we are going to have a test like ISC, where we are going to combine two units. So as you know that in the second unit there is a programming of using this VHDL, HDL. So that we are combining together and we will have test tomorrow. Okay. At
मॅम पण उद्या आपला लेक्चर नसतंय.
yes, actually I'm going to conduct MCS lecture. So in that session, that means it is at 10:30, I think.
ओके मॅम, चालेल.
So at that session, we will have test. So that will be long answer questions will be there. So you need to write all these questions on paper and then submit that. Okay, in a Google form. So for today, we will stop here. We will meet tomorrow. Just prepare for this test. Abhyas kara. All the best. For today, we will stop here.